What is the cutest thing you've ever done? When my kids were around 4 or 5 years old, I was working a demanding job, putting in 70+ hours a week. We had decided that my wife would stay home with the kids while I worked. One day, while getting our new house ready for winter, I had an accident and broke my arm and a few ribs. That meant I'd be off work until after Christmas. That night, as we lay in bed, my wife started crying. We had gone over our bills and realized that our savings wouldn't be enough to cover everything until I went back to work. She was heartbroken, mostly because it meant there wouldn't be enough money to give our kids a Christmas. She ended up finding a part-time job just weeks before Christmas, but her first paycheck wasn't going to be much. Her parents bought us a tree, and we decorated it, but she still had to leave for work, feeling sad about the whole situation. A week before Christmas, my sister came over with a Santa costume her husband had worn when their kids were small. While we were chatting, she reminded me that I had been putting money into a Christmas fund, which had totally slipped my mind since it was automatically deducted from my paycheck. I checked with the bank and, to my surprise, there was over $1,500 in that fund. So, every time my wife went to work, my sister would take me shopping. We wrapped the presents and kept them hidden at her house. On Christmas Eve, we placed the few presents my wife had managed to buy under the tree, and later that night, she cried herself to sleep, thinking about how bare it looked. At 4 a.m., my sister came over to help me put all the hidden presents under the tree. It was the most presents our kids had ever gotten. There was one special box in front that said, "Open me first." Inside was a video recorder that my wife had always wanted but we couldn't afford. I even got myself something small to throw off suspicion. My sister carefully wrote all the tags with names and labeled each present as being from Santa. She helped me into the Santa suit, and I walked into the kids' room, saying, "Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas." They sat up, rubbing their eyes, and I quickly dashed back to bed, sliding in next to my wife and pulling off the Santa outfit under the covers. The kids checked the tree and then came running into our room, shouting, "Mommy, Daddy, Santa came." He was in my room. He left us so many presents, and I got a bike. My wife, still puzzled because she knew we hadn't put a bike under the tree, got up and walked into the living room, shocked by what she saw. She opened the video recorder first and started filming the kids opening their gifts. She was convinced her parents must have been behind it, so she called them right away. But they denied it, as did everyone else she called. Tucked into the tree was an envelope with the leftover money, just enough to cover the bills and allow her to stop working. To this day, my wife has no idea it was me. She still thinks her parents somehow pulled it off. Every Christmas Eve, we watch the video of that morning, and even though my kids are grown now, they still swear they saw Santa that night.